All right, folks, I'm with Juan O Savin right now, and I got to tell you, another mass shooting just happened. 3 officers killed, 2 injured in a Pennsylvania shooting. And I got to say, this is starting to happen. It's starting to happen way more frequently. And I think even when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, there was like shootings in that window as well. There was like 2 or 3 shootings of mass shootings in that time frame. So obviously these shootings are picking up in frequency and escalation, Juanito. Juan, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm gonna go ahead and play some of this just for a second, and it's the Pennsylvania, I guess, a press conference. I guess it's the sheriff or the Governor Shapiro here, discussing this
incident that has rocked the community here in York County this afternoon.
York County.
It occurred in 𝗬𝗏𝗃 Township, York County. I'd like to preemptively say that there are many details which at this point we are not prepared to release, given the ongoing nature of the investigation. That having been said, we would like to advise the community that there is no current active threat.
Okay, Juan, so here we are once again. I mean, this is happening almost on a daily.
Let me just add this. York County was the site where another officer was killed just a few months ago. And then there's 2 additional officers in this shooting that are in the hospital in critical condition. I believe both of them look like they're going to make it at this point in time. But, you know, this was, this community's gotten hit exceptionally hard on this here recently. And of course, Pennsylvania with Butler, the attack on President Trump. What's going on in Pennsylvania, just like we would ask what in the world is going on in Utah. So anyway, go ahead.
You know, an explosive device, a bomb, was planted under a Fox 13 van news truck that was supposed to be detonated. It didn't go off, but they apprehended the suspects. I want to say they were Pakistani or something like that, and they had all kinds of, chemicals and weapons of mass destruction in their house. And their house, I mean, if you could just pass by this house and blink once, and you would have missed it. Like,
well, hold on, let's go back and understand that was in the immediate aftermath of Charlie Kirk being shot.
Right.
So imagine somebody deciding opportunistically that they're going to blow up a news van while they're helping cover this other event. And then they had multiple devices. They had, hoped to get away, and then 2 other ones. So certainly this wasn't intended to be a singular event with the blowing up of the news vehicle.
Well, I mean, right, but here we're coming into the memorial. A lot of people are scared right now to even attend this stuff. What do you have to say to people like that?
Well, we're a big country. There's lots of different events. There's always threats. I can imagine that there'll be pretty extreme security in place for the funeral of Charlie Kirk, lots of dignitaries there, etc. But there have already been issues at memorial sites, people trying to attack him and take him down. And the rhetoric, this divisive rhetoric continues. There's a very strong contingent that is still saying that the shooter was justified, or the people involved in this were justified in going after Charlie Kirk because of the way that he spoke and interacted with people who disagreed with them. And so, as I said years ago, everybody's going to have to pick a lane before this is over. And that's what's really going on here right now. Everybody's having to pick a lane, and it's becoming more defined. You won't be able to ride the fence.
So I pulled up the picture here of what you sent me, and you said, Nino, really look at this and understand this and study this, because this is exactly where we're at in this pyramid here. And I feel now more than ever we are even more divided and more polarized than we were even in 2020 all the way through 2024. Like right now, 2025, this, especially with the Charlie Kirk assassination, we are more polarized than ever before.
Well, this is a polarizing event. All of the events of the last couple of years are defining each side in the battle. And of course, even what you're seeing there in that depiction that I sent you, I've tried to mention this over the last, couple of weeks, even before the Charlie Kirk assassination. This is where we're at in this conflict. People who are losing their grip on society because Trump is in office. They're losing their ability to cause America to go to civil war, where we're more evenly divided. People are going to a conservative side in droves. Before Charlie Kirk's assassination, that was already happening, and it was becoming clearer and clearer that MAGA was not going away. Even people inside President Trump's White House and camp were 6-8 months ago trying to throttle the MAGA movement and the people pushing a MAGA environment as though it was done, over with, we're no longer supporting it. Back during the campaign, same thing. And President Trump hasn't backed off. So who are these people listening to? They think they're running the MAGA movement. They're running President Trump, and that's just not true. President Trump's his own man, and Make America Great Again is as strong or stronger than ever. And Charlie Kirk was an example of that. And so taking out Charlie Kirk hasn't stopped the MAGA movement in America. It's doubled it down.
So let me ask you this. What about the people that say, and I've always said this on my program, when the pendulum swings left, it's going to go right. It's just a matter of how far right is it going to go. But you've always said the cure has to be greater than the disease. But it seems to me like maybe, I don't agree with their speech. I don't agree with hate speech. I don't agree with the vulgar and disgusting things these people are saying. But we still live in a country of free speech. Are we kind of doing what they were doing to us in 2020 to 2024? I mean, are we starting to, fire people and block people and censor people? I mean, Jimmy Kimmel just got fired from ABC. I mean, are we starting to do the same thing they were guilty of doing in 2020?
Boy, them's fighting words.
Well, no, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Listen, you know where I stand.
Yeah, nothing that may be happening on the right, if you will, or within these locations is even in the same world as what they were doing. They've been using incendiary talk and language. We have not been doing incendiary talk and language. We've been having, trying to have an open conversation. It would be Charlie Kirk with his willingness to have direct conversations with people who disagreed, and right there in the open. Was that a threat to the people that he was talking to? To have a conversation, that's a threat?
Well, if you think about it, Juan, I mean, I've always said he was going into the den, into these institutions. The indoctrination camps themselves were the viper den, the rabies-infected dog den, trying to reason and give logic to these students that were so far gone, so far brainwashed, came from broken homes, didn't have a father in their home. He was spreading the word of Christianity and the nuclear family. And you've always said yourself, hell is a place absent of reason and logic. I mean, he was kind of in the dens of hell.
Well, if you think about it,
expecting not to get bit, he still got bit.
If you think about it, these hellish expressions, ways of operating, have been taking over America and the world, that we had to accept accept hellish behavior where it was their way, no room for discussion, even to the point of there's no room left for discussion. You just have to kill your opponents. A lot of people have forgotten, going back to 𝗵𝗱𝗍𝗄. We had an undercover officer who was in the 𝗵𝗱𝗍𝗄 camp during a lot of their revolutionary period, and came out and said that the group around 𝗵𝗱𝗍𝗄 and that crowd, the people that were, if you will, mentoring Obama in his early years.
Right.
They said that they would have to kill 25 million Americans to shut them down, to cause them to, course of this revolution that was coming, that they would have to incarcerate millions and millions more, but there would have to be 25 million killed to get the right thinking people to back off. And so with that in mind, you're really looking at a situation where we're now seeing the fulfillment or near attempted fulfillment of that crowd's ideals or way of thinking in their Marxist world. And we've seen it over and over across the world, wherever the Marxists and the communists have come into power. They'll kill tens of millions of people just to make sure that their agenda moves forward and nobody else's. I don't care if you're talking Stalin, Mao, what happened in Vietnam and Asia, Cambodia, all those.
Let me ask you this, Juanito. So right now we're in the minor guerrilla actions. Next, you said what's coming is the large-scale guerrilla actions. When do you think that could get? I mean, we all know that Trump's going all in with arrests. That's coming. We're hoping it happens this fall, right? I mean, that's we're hoping someone goes down this fall, but it seems to me like they know the walls are closing in on them. So these minor guerrilla actions are happening right now, and soon will be the large scale, correct?
Well, that's where it naturally goes. They're not on a schedule by dates, but they're checkpoints. And so the next checkpoint in this kind of an operation, as they lose the ability to control the way people think and operate through these smaller actions that are intimidating, designed to force us to accommodate people who do not agree with the larger population. Remember, the majority of the population is not in agreement with these fascist, Marxist, communist ideas and indoctrination in the schools and society and media and all that. They're not in agreement with it. They go along with it just to get along, go along, to just enjoy their radial tires, their microwaves, life in general. And so they put up with some of these things, they tolerate. There's a breaking point as the people in this societal MK Ultra operation, trauma-based programming, as the people become inured to the smaller guerrilla actions and push even farther away from the ideas and ideals of the Satanists, if you will, the enemy of society, enemies, have to do something bigger.
Right, they have to tighten their grip even more. Correct. They have to squeeze harder.
It's like you're really looking at some kind of a anaconda or similar, where they're choking out their victim to shut them up.
What kind of
air out of their lungs with these types of actions?
What kind of event could we be looking at, Juanito, that's coming just around the corner, do you think?
Well, it wouldn't be a soft event like the 𝗀𝗃𝗃 thing.
Yeah, you mean 2020? Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a soft event where it comes on with and an understanding that evolves over time. It has to be fairly sharp and decisive, 9/11-ish. Something that is sharp and traumatizing. And of course, remember that we are in a global and a national type of mind control. And so there's all sorts of things that go into controlling a person who is your intended target of mind control, an MK ultra type victim. And so trauma-based programming, there's got to be traumas. Now, some of the traumas are the Chinese water torture with the drip on the forehead that never stops. Some of it's the blaring music. Some of it is the loss of any sensation in a buoyancy tank where you're put in an eel skin suit and your senses can't feel anything, dark chamber. There's all sorts of different ways to traumatize and control a victim. At this stage, in this kind of a trauma-based programming, it's something so big, so cataclysmic, that it's intended to cause anybody that would try to fight or to fall into a resistance is futile. If I want to survive, I have to get along, go along. I got to become invisible so they don't see me, so they don't target me, because it's so big. And that's the kind of things that we worry about.
But they've got to do it. They've got to do it in the right time, the right timing, right? So I would imagine they'd have to combine it all into one big package, like financial, illegal immigrants being activated, the ones that are here that haven't been vetted. I mean, all of this probably would have to happen at once, right? Like a cascade event, like pull the ripcord.
Well, it'll happen on the numbers. And so, they have certain numbers that they fixate around because they believe they get extra energy power. Remember, ultimately, you're actually dealing with Satanists, Luciferians. They may go under a dozen or more different headers. But when you dig deeper into these different groups, they're ultimately anti-God, at a globalist level. And the problem is that America has become, for them, uncontrollable at this point in time. So the focus will be America. It won't be anywhere else in the world. There will be things happen other places in the world. This next event is targeted America.
Could it be something like the Golden Gate Bridge?
Well, it certainly could be any number of ritualistic locations. In the stuff that we were looking at literally over the last many decades, we were looking at a nuclear event in Seattle, November 3rd of 2019. And there was anticipated another event in Chicago. And I don't want to say because I want to get it all wound up, but there were certain dates that were, and there's one specific date that was within that realm. Would the situation today have changed that? Very easily. Remember, we did a couple of very long shows showing all the times that these cults or clubs, these globalista, secret handshake groups, had intended for certain things to happen and they failed. They want you to think that resistance is futile and you can never win against them. But I detailed out, 10 things.
Right.
Where we had very good documentation, information where they wanted to go, and they failed. Certainly there's other stuff where they have succeeded, but they make a move, we make a move, they make a move.
We make a move.
They've been thrown off on their timing radically, and now they're trying to play catch up. And the moves that they have to make to recapture control of the direction of America and the world, because we have leverage over the rest of the world. The stakes have increased, and in this global game of Casino Royale.
Well, Juanito, I got to jump on another podcast, but can I get you on 𝗏𝗏𝐶𝗀𝗏 Because I'd like to talk about potential targets and arrests. What we could be looking at. Are you game to do that?
I am, and let me just add this though, Nino. While we game this out and we consider different things and we look at this, it may look like we're almost unfeeling. We're just playing a video game or something. For Charlie Kirk's family, for the police officers and their families in Pennsylvania right now, this is very real. And while there's a lot of anomalous stuff, let me just acknowledge this also before we go, Nino. I'm very, 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 very aware of all of the almost inexplicable things that we see in the data related to Charlie Kirk's assassination. Charlie is dead. That said, there are very bizarre things that are involved here and disturbing. And I'm not against the conversation, but in the course of having very hard conversations, how can this be? How can that be? How can this be real or true? Different aspects. We still have very real family members and people who are very directly affected. If you're going to say that Charlie Kirk isn't dead and it's all a psyop or something like that, you're saying that the president, that other very senior people, including Charlie's family, are all good with a facade.
They're just acting. They're acting.
Yes, and so there is very real, very serious, bizarre things that are there. No denial on that at all. And I think we have to continue to bore in. But at the same time, at the very, very least, within our community, let's be mindful and respectful that, real lives are involved and prayerful on this and respectful. I do want to get to some of these other things that there's just some crazy things that cannot be true,
right?
That have been put out there, and I want to acknowledge that those people looking at these things are not wrong. So
all right.
I just wanted to say that because here, it's not wrong to be looking at these things. We will look at them and examine them further, but let's do it in a sober, somber, respectful way.
Manner. Yeah.
Okay.
You got it, Juan. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's go to 𝗏𝗏𝐶𝗀𝗏. All right, folks. I'll see you there. Juan, where do people go? �jennifermack.com.
Yeah. And by the way, you'll notice silver's moving. I've got
I'll say
the Gitmo coins over there. We have a bunch going out today. I think we'll be caught up after today. So they'll go up in price here as the price of silver goes up. It touched mid 42. It's headed for 50. So probably in the next $1 or $2, I'll have to raise prices again. But anyway, that's all there. That's over at 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗹.com. Appreciate it, Nino.
You got it, Juanito.